Hello dear viewers, let's talk about empirical and molecular formula. Empirical formula represents the relative number of atoms of each element present in one molecule of substance. For example, empirical formula of benzene is C6, which means for each hydrogen there is one carbon, and for each carbon there is one hydrogen. So if we have, for instance, 100 hydrogen atoms, there will be 100 carbon atoms associated with it. So it gives you only relative number but not the actual number of carbon and hydrogen atoms in that particular molecule. In contrast, molecular formula represents the actual number of atoms of each element present in one molecule of substance. For example, molecular formula of benzene is C6H6, which means there are 6 carbon and 6 hydrogen atoms in one molecule of benzene. So that's defined. You get to know the actual number of carbon and hydrogen atoms in that particular molecule. Now the relation between molecular and empirical formula is molecular formula is equal to empirical formula whole n, where n is actually the ratio of molecular mass to that of empirical formula mass. Thus, to calculate molecular formula of any substance, we need to calculate first the empirical formula and the value of n. Now, how can we find empirical formula of any molecule? For that, you have a very simple trick. The trick is, suppose you have a molecule AXBY, then using this relation, that is Na by Nb is equal to x by y, where Na or Nb are the number of moles of A and B respectively. Since number of moles is equal to mass by molecular mass or atomic mass, so we can write it as mass by atomic mass of A divided by mass of atomic mass of B, that will be equal to x by y. We can have this mass of A and B from the percentage of A and B that will be given. So from this expression you can calculate the value of xy, hence the empirical formula of the molecule AXBY. Now let's find out the empirical formula of a hydrocarbon molecule if carbon is equal to 75% and hydrogen is equal to 25%. So let CXHY be the empirical formula of a molecule. Therefore, NC by NH will be equal to x by y. So converting this relation into mass and atomic mass, we'll get mass by atomic mass of carbon divided by mass by atomic mass of hydrogen, and that will be equal to x by y. Since percentage of carbon is 75%, which means mass of carbon is 75 grams and that of hydrogen is 25 grams. While using the values here, you will get x by y equal to 1 by 4. Therefore, x will be equal to 1 and y will be equal to 4. Thus, empirical formula is CH4. In the same way, let's try to find out the molecular formula of a hydrocarbon if carbon is equal to 92.2% and hydrogen is equal to 7.7%. and molecular mass of that molecule is given as 78. You know molecular formula is equal to empirical formula whole n. So to calculate empirical formula, let's assume CXHY be the formula of that molecule. Therefore, NC by NH will be equal to x by y. That boils down to 92.2 by 12 whole divided by 7.7 by 1, that will be equal to x by y, which comes out to be x by y will be equal to 1 by 1. Therefore, x will be equal to 1 and y will be equal to 1. Thus, empirical formula of hydrocarbon is CH. Now, from this empirical formula, you can calculate the empirical formula mass, that's equal to 12 plus 1, that will be 13. Since n is equal to molecular mass divided by empirical formula mass, molecular mass is already given, that's 78. Empirical formula mass you calculated from the empirical formula, that comes over to be 13. So we will get the value of n as 6. Thus, molecular formula of hydrocarbon is CH whole 6, that will be equal to C6H6, which means the hydrocarbon was none other than benzene. I hope you understand it. If you like my videos, please do not hesitate to subscribe my channel. Thank you.